Hey y'all, it's Rashida coming to you this week with planning tips. Nope, packing tips. That's the word. Packing tips for long-term travel. This goes for gap years, sabbaticals, grown-up gap years, baby gap years. Hey kids, this video you can watch this time. I may curse, but you should be in college or on your way to college. You've heard these words before. So, packing tips. Number one, if you don't think you need it, you don't. Leave it at home. Even if you're only going on like a 2-week trip, if you do not think you need it, you can live without it. You can get it where you're going. You can figure out how to move around without it. You don't need it. In fact, one of the best pieces of gap year advice I got before I left was from a guy who had been traveling for a couple of years, kind of nonstop, on the go all the time. And what he told me was he packed like one change of clothes and some underwear, and then every time you went to a new country, he just bought everything he needed to wear. And then when he was leaving, he donated it somewhere. Now, that's not gonna work for me. It's not gonna work for me. But at the end of my gap year, I did get a lot better about packing with a very small suitcase or showing up, not a small suitcase. I still packed like a medium size to a large suitcase. But what I did was I went to each country, or if I came back to the United States and then went out again into the world, what I did was I went with very few things. There was one time and I went with maybe 2 changes of clothes and underwear. And then because I was going to a place where I didn't think clothes would be that expensive, I was going to Southeast Asia. I told myself I would buy clothes when I got there. Now, don't fool yourself. Things in Southeast Asia are not that cheap. Maybe they were a decade ago. You can probably still find some clothes that are cheap now, but to get the cheap prices that we typically have in mind, you're gonna get really, really low quality. And since I don't wanna wear anything that's gonna fall apart, I tend not to buy really, really cheap clothes. Now, discount on some nice clothes, I'll take that. So like I said, if you don't think you'll need it, you don't bring it. If you can improvise or get it where you're going, do that. The things that I made sure I had with me every time were my skincare. Because while they say black don't crack, you should always help it along however you can. It's thunder outside. I brought skincare. I brought with me hair products because black, and just in case they didn't have it. And in some places they didn't have anything I could use. My laptop, my camera, so I could do things like make this video. My phone. Yeah, I think those were the basics of the things that I brought with me every time. Other than that, in a lot of places I was just like, I can find a dress to wear, find some shorts. And didn't actually need that much. And I say that as someone who at home has a lot of things, but going on a gap year and traveling for a year really taught me to prune down on the amount of things I have. One, because I didn't have any space for it. I just had one suitcase. So if I was going to be traveling for 3 months with one suitcase, I needed to have as few things as possible. And 2, because you really don't need that much. Like it was a really good lesson for me in that like I didn't need as many things as I thought I did. So if you don't think you need it, don't bring it, you'll be okay. Ooh, I cannot read my writing. Hold it. Second packing tip is, it's kind of the same thing. Always aim for less things and smaller luggage. As you maneuver around the different places you're gonna go, you're gonna hit some train stations or subway somewhere. You're gonna hit somewhere that doesn't have an elevator or an escalator. You're gonna have to drag your bag up some stairs. So the lighter your bag, the better off you are. I definitely had that experience a couple of times. I had a bad experience with that once in Japan, but that's a different story. Just the lighter your bags can be, and the more they can be condensed into fewer bags, the better off you are. Tip number 3 is, I see it now. Don't bring anything you're afraid to lose or that you would be upset if you lost. So there are things that I bring that I don't want to lose. Like I don't want to bring my camera because I don't want to pay to replace my camera. But I have travel insurance, so I know that if I lose it, the insurance will cover it. And I don't have any emotional attachment to the camera. So if they're going to give me money to buy a new one, I'm getting a new camera. Woo! So what I would say is like, and this might sound obvious, but don't bring your great grandmother's ring with you that you've worn every day forever, because you're going to end up in a lot of different places, a lot of different people's apartments. If you're doing Airbnbs or homes, you don't know who's going to come in when you're not there. Hopefully no one. You never know. Same thing for hotels. Um, yeah, don't bring anything that you would feel really bad if you lost. If I lose my phone, eh, I didn't bring anything with me that I couldn't spend money to replace. In fact, before I left, I packed up all my jewelry and I gave it to someone for safekeeping. So any of the jewelry you see now, like this is my name in Arabic. I got this in the gold souk in Dubai. Any jewelry I have here, these are earrings that I got in Thailand. Any jewelry you see me wearing is jewelry that I picked up on my gap year because I didn't bring anything with me. Also, that's another good packing tip. If you're going to get souvenirs for yourself, now, I'm not one to buy souvenirs for other people. If y'all want something, come with me. Only because like it's too much to carry with you all the time. It's just too much stuff. But I do like to buy myself a souvenir to remind myself of the trip that I took. So I typically buy jewelry. Some of it is more expensive, some of it is cheaper, but it's a way to collect things without collecting large things. I've also, like I mentioned, picked up clothes, and typically people are like, "Ooh, where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "I got that in Bahrain." That kind of thing. Because you'll end up, if you travel enough on your gap year, you're going to end up in some really interesting places. And when you buy things in those interesting places, they're not going to be things that people at home have. And then you've got some unique clothes, some unique jewelry as souvenirs when you get back. That's another good reason to go with an empty suitcase. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Point being, keep your suitcase as empty as possible. Don't bring anything you have any emotional attachment to. And those are the highlights. I will talk to you later. Maybe next week if I post another video. And I hope between now and then you are doing okay. If you have questions about my gap year journey, you can see it on my website. I will post the link in the notes below. And I hope everything is just going well in your world. Bye.